Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nick. As always, you guys can call me Tattoo Ninja, and today I'm going to be showcasing you guys some gameplay from a game called VIGOR. This game was released a couple years ago on Xbox. It's actually free to play, but this week they actually released a version for the Nintendo Switch with the purchase of the Founders Pack. So you can basically play it wherever you are, so long as you have a Wi-Fi connection on the Nintendo Switch. Before we get to the gameplay, I do want to give a quick thank you to our friends over at Bohemian Interactive for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to learn more about VIGOR and the new features that are in Season 4, check out the link in the description. So I played about 6 to 7 hours of the game, so I have some quick tips that I want to kind of share with you guys. And the first things first is that this is not your typical battle royale survival shooter. This one has a much heavier emphasis on resource gathering and resource management, which this lady will talk to you about right here.
Set yourself a simple goal. Focus on it, and leave safely. Wandering aimlessly may get you killed.
Exactly. So this is the map of the world. There are different maps in different areas. We just have been dropped into this snowy one right here. So this is the Nintendo Switch version of the game. Once again, it was released this week. The game is actually in its Season 4, which is entitled Warlords, which I will get to the features of this season a little bit later. So my objective in this specific match was to get a bunch of resources. So there are a bunch of resources scattered throughout the world in barns, residential buildings, lumberjack areas like this. And what you need to do is gather resources in order to upgrade your homestead or your home base, as well as give you the ability, as you get a little bit further along into the game, to craft more weapons. So as you can see, I hit the mother load of a jackpot right here by scavenging this truck. And I said to myself, you know what? That's good enough for me. So I am going to quickly choose my closest escape point and head straight to it and completely ignore all the other players inside the match. There are up to 12 players in a single match, so 11 other players that you possibly could be facing. But in my personal opinion, that loot was well worth it to just grab and run away. Because if you die in a match, all the loot that you have on you, everything that you gathered, all the weapons that you brought into the match get lost because they will be scavenged by another player. So yeah, we don't want that. So I thought that's good enough for us. We're gonna grab the loot that we just got, all the stuff that we need to build new weapons, and chill in this area right here and escape. Just gone. I'm out. Dunzo. So if you get a little bit too greedy, try to stay in a match too long, or try to carry too much precious resources, something like this could happen to you. This is still early on into my 6 to 7 hours with the game. So I'm in a house right now in another match, and I'm trying to find a safe. Throughout the world, there are interesting points that you can find large caches of resources. One of them is safes, and in each match there's also an airdrop that drops really cool stuff. So the safes are marked for everyone on the map, and each of them is barricaded behind a door, which first takes a while to tear down as well. And when you finally get to the safe, it actually takes a while for you to be able to hack it. And when you start hacking a safe, it sends out an alert to all the other players in the match. So you kind of have to babysit it, and if your aim sucks like mine, what's gonna happen to you? You just get absolutely wrecked. Even though I tried to troll myself into a corner, make myself as little as possible, my aim still was not true, and I lost all the gear that I had with me. So any good weapons I would have had, any ammo, anything that I was scavenged, just all gone right after being killed by another player. So there's a heavy emphasis on making sure that you play accordingly. Don't try to gather too much, gather what you need, and try to time your attacks a little bit more strategically. So for some new players out there, I actually have some quick tips when you jump into this game for the very first time. My first suggestion is not to try the encounter mode right away. I would actually go to the firing range like I am right here. So there is a first person mode for every single one of the guns, but immediately what you notice about this game is that the recoil on the guns is off the charts. So you really got to control the recoil. You don't always have time to aim down sight and spray other players. So in order to control recoil, you can actually crouch down or go prone. That will dramatically reduce the spread of your bullets and make the crosshair definitely a little bit smaller. And on the shooting range as well, you'll see these scarecrows scattered throughout, and the scarecrows actually have the exact amount of health that other players in the game you will encounter have. So they'll give you a good gauge of how many bullets it takes to kill and bring down a person. And as well, there are also challenges that you can do inside of the shooting gallery. You can test out the different types of guns that you have unlocked and get a feel for them, as well as do these kind of challenges in order to basically get better at using them and just getting a feel of the mechanics of the game. Bam, bam. The next mode that I recommend you guys check out if you're picking up the game for the very first time is the brand new Elimination mode that was introduced this season in Season 4 Warlords. So it is basically a 5v5 deathmatch, and the first team to win 5 rounds wins the game. And what's cool is that every single player, no matter how experienced you are or how new you are, starts off with the exact same loadout, and the weapons that you have access to, as you can see right here, I'm trying to shoot as straight as possible, crouching down, minimizing that recoil, making that reticle a little bit smaller. So everyone starts off with the exact same loadout. So not only that, it'll kind of give you a taste of what the weapons feel like when they're being shot. As well, they will kind of give you a taste of all the different weapons, especially if you're playing for the very first time. You won't have everything unlocked, such as LMGs and sniper rifles. But in this game mode, they basically open the doors to everything. So in this game, you really have to think before you shoot. If you are not absolutely sure that you're gonna kill the player, you probably best not to shoot until he's literally right in front of you, or like that. So like I said, this mode, it was pretty fun. You can also capture, or you can also win the round, because about a little bit further into each of the round, a specific capture point becomes available, as you can see right here. So even if you're down a bunch of players, so long as you capture the spot, you win the round. But in all honesty, no one ever tried to capture the point. In all the matches I played, everyone just focused on basically turning it into a death match. And as you can see, my aim here is not good, but it is a mode that it's really designed to kind of help players get acquainted with the mechanics of the game. All right, so let's jump into the core gameplay mode of VIGOR, and that is the encounter matchmaking type. So we get a nice forested area this time, opposed to the snowy area that we did a little bit earlier. So in every single match, there is always an airdrop, and inside that airdrop is a crate. And in the crate, if you get it, you bring it back to your base. You can actually open it and get a bunch of gear, get some blueprints for weapons themselves, resources. It's the best thing ever. You always want to get the crate if possible inside a single match, but you have to weigh against the risk of losing everything you have, because you're not going to be the only one in the match. There are 11 other players who have the exact same objective that you have, and that is to gather as much resources as possible, kill as many other players as possible, take their resources, and rinse and repeat. So I knew that I couldn't kill this guy. A lot of times you just have to let people go, because if you shoot at them, you will give away your position. It's best just to stalk them for a while, I personally find. And then when you get close enough where you know that you can't miss, shoot them in the back and then take their stuff. It's the coward's way, but it is the most efficient way, in my personal opinion. So, inside the map as well, there are tons of things to find, and there are comm stations which you can activate to change the location of the drop. So you can change exactly where the drop is going to be. You will know it, and the other players in the map will have kind of like a rough idea of where it's going to be, but you'll know exactly where it is. So I changed the drop to basically fall right beside me at this farmstead area. So I'm kind of just hanging around. I could hear some gunfire in the background, but my main objective is to wait for the drop. It takes a while to get there, so you feel free to explore the area as well, and just kind of gather other things as much as you possibly can. And as well, not only is there a drop in the game, to kind of speed things along to make sure that players aren't just staying in a match longer than they have to, there is also a radiation storm that comes in. You can check the map and it'll tell you the direction of which the storm will come in, and you obviously don't want to stay inside a radiation storm. To be honest with you, I actually never made it that far into waiting for the radiation storm to happen. I either killed enough people, gathered enough resources that I wanted, and left the match on my own. Because once you kill 2 or 3 players, especially if you get the crate, there is really not much more reward to staying in longer, to possibly finding more players and killing them and grabbing whatever loot that they have, especially since there is a maximum amount of stuff that you can carry. So as you can see, I heard some footsteps. People who play with headphones will have a really big advantage, because sound sniping is definitely a thing in this game. You can hear footsteps. They are as clear as metal boots, and I just knew there was a person in here. So what I'm trying to do is basically try to peek around corners to figure out exactly where they're going to be coming out of. And she was literally right in front of me, hiding in the shadows. And her aim was worse than mine was. The recoil, man. The recoil was so real. So this is a barn area. At this stage in the game, I was really looking for nails, because it was the next resource that I needed to do the next upgrade for my home base. And what you find is the location of all the resources makes sense. So if you need something like nails, you obviously want to check like toolboxes and stuff. You're not going to find it in a random homestead, in a random residential area. You have to check garages, barns, and all those types of things. So the placement of the resources is correct, just as you would expect them in the real world. And yeah, right now I'm still trying to wait out for when the airdrop is going to come in. And since we're in a barn and I needed nails, this is where I was looking. I think I also find like a map right here of a special location inside the game, which I assume probably will have even better loot. I think it's in this box right here. It's like a snapshot. Special issue. But I'm just gonna chill here, wait for the airdrop, and grab it and try to escape the map as quickly as possible.
The plane is incoming. Beware of the drop zone. It will be dangerous.
What that lady said. Let's get dangerous. Feeling frisky today. So in this specific match, because I changed the location of the airdrop, I knew exactly where it was going to be. It was beside me, so I grabbed it as quickly as I possibly could. It actually is about to fall behind me.
When looting the airdrop, always be cautious. Other Outlanders may be watching.
I'm very curious if it probably could crush me to my death if I was standing directly underneath me. But I got the airdrop.
When you have the airdrop, be fast and cautious. Outlanders may be hunting you.
So when you have the airdrop, your location is occasionally pinging to other players. So other players on the map know exactly where you are. So luckily, no one was around me this time, but this person right here was not so lucky. So in this another match, this person actually beat me to the airdrop, and they had a bad time. They had a very bad time. Not only did I get the airdrop from them, they actually had a whole whack of loot. So much that I couldn't carry it all. So you gotta be a little strategic of how you want to grab the loot and make your shooting a little. Look at this! Look at this! Not only of all the stuff that it was like freaking gold right here, but I accidentally. Because I had so much stuff and I hit the take all button, I have to remove something that I don't want, and actually in order to pick up the airdrop, which is definitely the prize of the game. So make some room right here. Find.
When you have the airdrop, be fast and cautious. Outlanders may be hunting you.
Find the closest escape area, heal myself along the way, and try to make a quick escape. It's very stressful. It's super stressful, especially when you're low ammo like this and low health. And unlike before, the escape wasn't that close to me, but luckily no one else was around. But letting people knowing that other people on the map know exactly where you are and most likely where you're going to be headed is just so stressful. You're just trying to sprint as quickly to the destination as you possibly can. One other tip I also found online is that you do sprint faster if you do not have any weapon in your hand. So that's why I have holstered everything, and just so I could get to the location as fast as possible. So we don't run into any resistance here, and we make it to the escape, and we're going to make successful escape with the loot crate, which we get to open at our home base after we wait, I think it's like 10 seconds before this escape actually happens. So also another stressor in your life when you're trying to make a getaway. So the question now is, with a game that is so highly focused on resource management, gathering, and survival, what exactly do you do with all the resources and all the things that you find? So first thing you want to do is upgrade your shelter, which is what I am doing right here. I finally gathered enough nails in order to get the next upgrade with the homestead right here, and then I'm gonna start the next upgrade right here. So upgrades aren't instant. You actually have to wait a bit before they become available. Just spend your time playing another match, and by the time you get out of your match, if you don't die immediately, it will be set for you. So as you upgrade your homestead, you can see that each stage gives you a different benefit, and most of the benefits is that it's gonna be kind of act like a bank account that you have to invest a little bit into. As you can see, we also picked up a reward for leveling up in the form of a crate. So as you upgrade your homestead, it's going to be generating you more materials that you can use to craft more things, such as weapons and gear. Got a sniper right here, which is pretty sweet. So you do get the item, that weapon, right away when you open the crate, but like all things in the game, if you die in the middle of an encounter, you can lose it. It's just gone. So if you get like a really sweet weapon right away, you may not want to bring it into a match, because if you're just kind of getting used to the game, you can lose it right away to another player, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you buy the insurance buff, which you can purchase at the beginning of each and every single match, but that does cost some crowns, some in-game currencies, so you may not want to do that. So in season 4, which Warlords, they introduced a whole bunch of new skins as well as mechanics. The coolest mechanic I thought that they introduced is the mortar strike. So you can, if you have someone who's camping in a house, you can literally call in a mortar to drop bombs on top of them. And they also introduced an item called the jammer, which it's exactly what it sounds like. It jams up their entire radar so long as they are in the vicinity of it. Season 4 also introduced a brand new collectible, which is the lighters, to go alongside the trolls that have always been a part of the game. Trolls are part of Norwegian and Scandinavian mythology because the game is set in Norway. It's the more you know moment of today's video. Just to let you guys know, just to let you know. I definitely had to look it up. I did not know that. But anyways, so Season 4 also introduced a brand new battle pass. So as you level up, as you guys saw a little bit earlier, you do get different items, crates. You also can get crowns. But if you do purchase the battle pass, you do also get some bonus items as well that can kind of help you speed up along the way with some extra skins. And there are also some brand new weapons in this game to go alongside some of the cosmetic skins, some face paints, some outfits, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing Vigor. It was very stressful, but stressful in a good way. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed the quick look at the game. Thank you once again for Bohemian Interactive for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to learn more about Vigor as well as some of the new features in Season 4, check out the link in the description. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, have a fantastic day.